Biden's not the cause of the problems, and he's not the savior. Trump's not like this progress into the, I don't know what we call it, the devolvement of the United States government into this global corporatization where they're just siphoning off our wealth. That wasn't a Donald Trump. That was going to happen. This plan's been going on since the 1990s at least, when George Bush Sr. brought up the New World Order for one of the first times on TV. They've been planning this for quite a long time.
You understand Joe Biden was a part of the uniparty establishment machine for 50 years during that time period. He was actively involved in it.
Yeah. He was.
So I think it's fair to say, as an individual, Biden isn't the cause of what's going on right now. As a component of the machine, he is.
Yeah, he's a big political figurehead making a lot of money off of it.
And we kind of all see a little bit of this on a much smaller scale. Obviously, all of us sitting here are some level of public figure. And you know, when you're a public figure, that to a large extent, you kind of just mirror back whatever people want to see in you. So I agree with what Phil was saying. Trump was really just a symptom. It was unveiling everything that was kind of sick and wrong with the culture and how the country was being ran, not necessarily him doing a bunch of stuff. Because you can also see how he didn't have all that much power during 2020.
The people...
Well, I mean, just to clarify, I do think it's true for the most part that public figures reflect back what people want to see in them. But do you mean by that, like, no matter what you do, people will choose like how they think of you? Is that what you mean?
To an extent, yeah. And they can make you out to be whatever they want you to be,
Like they'll highlight only certain things from Trump. Like, here's the Trump timeline.
The bloodbath.
They select these pieces, put them together, and say, look how bad Trump is.
Yeah, and it works less and less now. Like, the bloodbath thing recently was a really good example. I didn't see many people genuinely falling for it. And anyone I did see falling for it, their comment section was lit up with people of all over the political spectrum saying, actually, that's ridiculous to paint it that way. And so that's a good sign, because you think back to before, every person believed that he made fun of the mentally handicapped reporter. Every person believed he said all these things about, Latinos and Black people that just were either not true or taken out of context. It's not as easy to do anymore.
We got a super chat. Mad Max said, Trump is not a symptom of the problem. He's the response to the problem. I actually agree with that.
Yeah.
For a long time, I said he was a symptom of it. I think response to it is a better way to frame it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I mean, I'm comfortable with that framing as well. Essentially, like, look, the people on the left and your average Democrat need to understand that MAGA people are the Tea Party, right? Like, the Tea Party came in response to what essentially was, the overreach, what they felt was the overreach of the federal government, and a response to the bailouts of the banks. Right. So there was the left response, which was Occupy Wall Street and stuff. And that got eaten up by the whole intersectional stuff. And you had the Tea Party, which was the response to like the bailouts in response to the ACA. And they essentially were like, these are the things that we want. And these are the things we're upset about. And all they got from the Democrats was, oh, they're the racists. They're clinging to their guns and their God and blah, blah, blah. And all of the negative stereotypes. And so they were like, well, we wanted Mitt Romney, who was literally the most Boy Scout you can get, right? As milquetoast as you could possibly come up with. They still called him a Nazi. They still said he was a rapist. They still said he was all these terrible things. And then they're like, well, then Donald Trump shows up, and Donald Trump's just like a endless line of middle fingers. And they're like, that's my guy. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah. So the idea that Donald Trump caused any of this is absolutely detached from reality and ridiculous. Yeah, but the average person doesn't realize it because CNN will never tell them that, will never explain it in that timeline in a way that they'll understand.
I think it is apparent that he's more either a result of this problem of society or is a symptom, or however you want to respond to it. Because like, he didn't even want to be in politics in the beginning. Like, why would he? His kids didn't want it. They were like, dude, Don Jr.'s like, dude, I go to the best parties. Everyone loved me. Now I'm in politics. It's everywhere I go, it's like polarized. It's great. And so Don Sr. felt compelled to run. He was like, if things get so bad, I will run. And that's because it's a symptom of the society getting so bad, of this sellout of our government.